Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today I have my June 2019 candle and wax empties to share with you. I cannot believe that we are halfway through 2019. Where has the year gone? I feel like it was just Christmas like a month ago, and here we are halfway through the year, moving right through summer, and fall will be here in a blink. So let me know if y'all feel the same way. I just feel like definitely as I get older, the days and months just go by quicker and quicker and quicker. I hope you've all had a fantastic month. I hope you're all staying cool. It is super hot here in North Carolina right now. Never a great time of year. Humidity is very high here. Kind of just getting through it. I'm definitely feeling the pull for fall, but really enjoying my summer scent still. My theme for June was watermelon, mango, and pineapple, and I did have that theme in both wax and candles. As with all of my empties, I'm going to start with the random bits first, the hand soaps and wallflowers, and then move into the wax melts and then into the candles. So if you're only interested in a particular portion of the video, I will leave the timestamps below, so you can click on that timestamp and it will take you directly to that portion of the video. I have started adding the individual candles to my timestamps because some of you have let me know that you're only interested in a particular candle, or you click on my video for a candle review, and that way you don't have to watch the whole video. You can just click on the candle that you're interested in. Of course, I would love you to watch the whole video, but I completely understand that not everyone has 45 minutes plus to listen to my rambling. I did get through a ton of wax melts last month, like 50 plus, so this is going to be a longer video as per usual with my empties video, so definitely grab a snack and something to drink. And if you're interested in hearing what I use melted and burn in June, let's get started. We finished 4 hand soaps in June. The first one I finished is this Cucumber and Lily exfoliating hand soap. This is fresh cucumber, green tea, and lily of the valley. This one is super strong, so if you really like a strong hand soap scent, then definitely get this one. Definitely a lot of the floral, not much of the cucumber in the hand soap, whereas in the candle I picked up more of the cucumber when it was burning. This one definitely lingered on my hands. I feel like I could smell it for hours after I used it, so super strong. I really like the gentle exfoliating hand soap. Sometimes the scrubby bits can kind of settle at the bottom, so I just give it a quick shake and then it sort of distributes itself throughout the soap. Really like this form and hope we continue to see them. We also finished Happy Easter. I absolutely love the packaging. I think it's just super cute. They did such a great job this year with the Easter stuff. There's your peony petals and fresh spring lily. This was also a floral scent, but it was a very soft, very pretty, subtle scent. It was not as strong at all as the cucumber and lily, and I really enjoyed this one. Very beautiful. My grandmother really liked it as well. I'm not typically a huge fan of the gentle foaming hand soaps, but this one I actually really liked, and if I were to find it again, I'd pick one up. Hopefully we'll get something very similar like this next year. My grandmother actually finished this Rosewater and Ivy Creamy Luxe hand soap. She absolutely adores this scent. She loves all floral and rose scents, but this one she actually would say, oh, I really like my hand soap. So I definitely plan on getting her more of this scent for sure. I actually really like it too. I tend to like rose more in body care and hand soap than I do actually burning candles. Really like this one. Would definitely pick up another one. And then I finished this soap in Beach Cabana Deep Cleansing. Love this scent. This is the first time that we've seen this scent in hand soap. Of course, the scent has been out in candle form for many years, so I was super excited to have it in candle form, and I absolutely love this one. I've already picked up like 4 backups, and I would absolutely pick up even more just in case we don't see it again, but I'm hoping that it was popular enough that we will see it again. It smells exactly like the hand soap. To me, this almost registers as like a spring to summer transitional scent. Definitely good for either season. Highly recommend if you like the candle that the scent is a spot on dupe, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. I also finished this bottle of 100% pure lavender essential oil. I've mentioned this brand before. I pick it up on Amazon. It's relatively inexpensive for the amount of essential oil that you get here. I don't use dryer sheets anymore. I try to cut down some chemicals where I can, and I use the wool dryer balls, and I put the essential oils on the balls, and it does scent my clothes very nicely, and I would definitely pick up this brand again. I also finished this hand cream in L'Occitane's lavender. I love the scent. This is one of my favorite lavender scents in body care. It just smells like exact, authentic, herbal lavender, like you've just taken the lavender off of the plant and you've crushed it in your hand. It is beautiful, perfect, and I love it. I've had this in my purse for a long time. I lost the lid along the way somewhere. Their hand creams are a bit pricier, but I feel like they're really great for stocking stuffers or like to kind of treat yourself kind of thing, and I really like the consistency and the thickness of their hand creams. They're really nice. And we finished 3 Wallflowers this month. I finished the Tuscan Herb Garden, which is one that I picked up for semi-annual sale. I really wanted this scent to be a lot more green, and it had a lot of citrus, a lot of lemon in it. It was okay, but it was not very strong. I really couldn't smell it that much, and it kind of stopped working halfway through the bulb. So I finished an At the Beach Wallflower plug. This one was fantastic. It was really strong. Every time I walked by it, I could smell the scent. I absolutely love the scent for summer. It's just a perfect beachy scent. Love it so much. And then I finished a Cotton Blossom. This is like a throwback to middle school days. I used to love this scent in body care, and so I thought I'd pick it up in Wallflower form, and it was nice. It was very light though. I had it in my smallest bathroom, and typically when I put a Wallflower in there, it really fills that small bathroom. This one, it didn't. It was just very light, but it was pleasant. Okie dokie, that is all of the random bits. I'm gonna move right on into the wax melts. June was a really great wax month for me. I ended up getting through about 53 scents. I loved my theme last month, watermelon, mango, and pineapple. You're actually gonna see a couple of fall scents in here as well, because my partner and I decided that we wanted to melt fall over the one weekend. I think it was like the 3rd weekend in June, and I totally loved every minute of it. In fact, it was a little bit difficult kind of moving back away from fall scents and moving back into my summer scents. But I definitely want to get through and melt and enjoy my summer scent. So I'm trying to hold off on fall a little bit more, but I am starting to feel a very strong pull this year. Normally I'm okay, but this year it's calling for me for some reason. The first scent I finished in June is this Rosegirls Grease Lightning. My friend Susan, she's on Instagram. I'll put her Instagram name below. She is super, super kind and sent me a really amazing box of wax with some great scents, a lot of which I have never tried. The notes of this one are strawberry shortcake, strawberry jam, and cup of cake. And this was a really nice strawberry bakery. The strawberry fruitiness was balanced by that yellow cake, cup of cake. I'm not actually a huge fan of the yellow cake oil, but this one was pretty good. It actually reminded me a little bit of Southbound Strawberry Seduction. I'm not saying they're exact dupes of one another, but they're very similar. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 for a chunk in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is this 4-pack coin in Vintage Chic scents We Go Together. This is strawberry, coconut cream, and juicy mango. The mango is the top note, which I love. I love that mango sorbet oil. It is just so tart and juicy and fruity, and I love it. And the strawberry and the coconut cream added a really nice extra sweetness, creaminess to the mango, and it turned out to be just a really nice blend. The strength and throw was about a 5.5, 6 for 1 coin split between 2 different warmers, my 24-watt and my 20-watt hot plate warmer. So I'll take a coin, break it in half, put half in one warmer and half in the other. The next one I finished is this Goose Creek pineapple upside down cake. This one is a really nice juicy pineapple scent mixed with that bakery. The pineapple was definitely the dominant note. It definitely kind of smelled like this picture where you actually got the rings of the fresh, juicy, fresh cut pineapple, and then you got underneath that bakery, but the bakery note was definitely like a cake soaked in pineapple juice. So it was a lot of pineapple, but it was still balanced with the bakery quite nicely. I actually really ended up enjoying it. The strength and throw was about a 7 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. I finished this bag in Empire Alchemy's Truly, Truly, Truly Outrageous. This is orange sherbet, lemon sugar, lemon rind, and sugar cookie dough, and I absolutely love this scent. This was a top 18 scent for me for 2018. The orange sherbet adds this really nice, creamy, citrusy touch to the lemon bakery in this, and I think it's just so good. It is slightly tart and tangy, balanced with the sweet of the bakery and the lemon sugar, and it's just phenomenal. If you like Ice Lemon Biscotti from Destination Wax, if you like lemon bakery and then you add just like an orange sherbet creaminess to it, it's fantastic. I love this one. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, 7 for a small chunk in 2 warmers in my 24-watt and 20-watt hot plate warmer. I would absolutely repurchase this one. In fact, I already have, and I've got more on the way. I finished this 4-pack coin in Vintage Chic Scents Art Deco, and the notes are watermelon and pomegranate. This one is a very tart and tangy scent. It does have like a candied sweetness that you would expect from the watermelon, but that pomegranate adds a nice tart tanginess to it, which I actually really like. The strength and throw was about a 5.5 for 1 coin split between my 24-watt and 20-watt hot plate warmers. I wish it would have been a little bit stronger. I finished the Shape in the Bathing Gardens Mermaid on Duty. This is mango, orange vanilla, pineapple soda pop, and strawberry guava jam. So it's a lot going on here. It is a very sweet, fruity scent. The guava adds a really nice, almost sort of earthy sweetness to it, which I actually really like. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 for this Shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this scent shot in Empire Alchemy's Melon Aloe. This is watermelon, lemon, lime, cilantro, clover, and aloe, and I absolutely love this scent. I hope she brings it back soon. Fingers crossed we'll see it in the next pre-order or ready to ship. This one is such a unique take on watermelon, and I'm not surprised because she just has really an amazing ability to blend scents together. You definitely get that sweet, juicy watermelon, but it's balanced by the tart citrus that's in this and also this slightly earthy greenness. It is amazing. It does smell sort of like an authentic watermelon patch, but with the citrus to brighten the entire blend. So you get the green, you get the sweet watermelon, but then the citrus just kind of brightens and uplifts everything, and it's absolutely wonderful. I love it. The shrink and throw was about a 7.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and a half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. So again, I took the scent shot, cut it in half, put a half in one warmer, a half in the other, and the combined strength and throw was about a 7.5. So really enjoyed this one, would absolutely repurchase it. The next one I finished is this Destination Wax Meyer Lemon Salsa. This is sweet Meyer lemon, pineapple, kiwi fruit, and tropical melon, and another one that I absolutely love. I feel like this one doesn't get that much love, but it is amazing. It's actually not super lemony. Like, you do get the lemon for sure, but those other fruity tropical notes definitely come through, and it does smell like a sort of a tropical fruit salad. It is delicious. The strength and throw is about an 8.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. Definitely will be reordering this one. I finished this sample in Barrett Wax Craft Snoozy Melts. Absolutely love this one. It was the top 17 scent of 2017. Of course, I've got this like in a big bag. I melt it all the time, but in my most recent order, he sent me a sample of it, so I figured I'd go ahead and melt the sample. This is lavender peppermint vanilla blend. It is so relaxing and cozy, and the snoozy is definitely the right word for this. I love his lavender. He has a very unique, pretty, almost powdery floral, but slightly herbal lavender. It is just perfect. The strength and throw was an 8.5 for this shape. It was a smiley face shape in my bulb warmer. I finished this shape in the Bathing Garden Salty Siren. This is the saltiest lime margarita, and this is just not my favorite scent. This is that particular line that I'm just not the hugest fan of. I've tried it from many vendors and I just don't love it. It's just not for me. I know a lot of people really love this one, but it's just the type of line that I don't particularly prefer. The strength and throw was an 8.5 though, so it was very strong, and for this shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this clam in the Bathing Garden Saltwater. Now this scent I absolutely love. This is a refreshing blend with super clean lime, citrus, and sea salt blend, and this is amazing. It's definitely very salty. You almost get like a briny aspect to it. Like, it legitimately smells like good seawater, not like seawater that's got some rotten fish in it, but like the good kind of briny note that you associate with the beach. Is so refreshing and clean at the same time. So it's like beachy, refreshing, clean from that lime, and the lime is not the same lime that's in Salty Siren. It is a very different kind of, not cleaner product lime, but just very refreshing citrusy lime. I cannot recommend this highly enough if you like those kind of scents. Beachy, salty, briny. This one is fantastic. I will definitely, in fact I already have reordered this one, and I could definitely see this one sneak peek in my top 19 and 19 cents. It is fabulous. The strength and throw is about a 7 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and like I said, I've already repurchased it. I finished this sample in Gypsy Monroe's Milk and Cookies, and this was sent to me by, again, my friend Susan. I had never tried Gypsy Monroe, so she was very kind to send me this to test. This is a really yummy bakery vanilla cookie blend, really delicious. This was a little bit light for me. It was about a 4.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer for about half of the little rectangle that I got here. So I would probably melt maybe in a different warmer next time, or maybe melt a little bit more of the wax. I probably didn't feel like I put enough in. So the scent itself was really delicious though. I finished this shape in the Bathing Garden's Midsummer Song. This is sugared vanilla, candied lemon, and orange with dark berries. And my friend Kim from Kim Hearts Organizing, I'll put her channel name below. If you're not following her, definitely recommend. You probably, most of you are following her on YouTube, but she's been really active on Instagram lately, so I highly recommend following her there. She's doing a lot of really cool time lapses. With that aside, her and I were talking about this scent, and she said that she gets it all the time as a sample, or seems to. And I'm like, you know what? I have several of these too. I need to go ahead and try it. and so I did. And I actually really enjoyed this one melting more than I did on cold sniff. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of it on cold sniff. I was just like, it's okay. But melting is actually really nice. It was a sweet, citrusy berry scent, so it was really nice for spring or summer. The strength and throw was about a 7 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this sample in Destination Wax's Calypso Melon. I've melted this one before. This one's a fresh and fruity scent, honeydew melon, Granny Smith apples, and strawberries. I really actually like this one. I'm not a huge fan of honeydew melon. For some reason, I'm just not. And I can do it when it's mixed with like watermelon or cantaloupe, and it really kind of has to be berry down in there. It can't be the dominant note. And this one's really nice. I did get a good bit of the honeydew melon, but those other notes really helped kind of balance out the honeydew melon for me. Very juicy, very fruity, sort of like a slight tropical vibe to this as well. I really enjoyed it actually. The strength and throw was about a 7 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this clam in the Bathing Gardens BU. The notes are strawberry soda, passion fruit, lemon drop, and mango tangerine with white apple and black raspberry vanilla. Ooh. And this was the absolutely most beautiful clamshell. She had layered each different color of all of the rainbow. So it was like red, orange, yellow, etc. And then she had like a blue star here. And so it was so awesome. The fact that she would do this kind of clam and be supportive, I just absolutely loved it and just appreciated it so much. I did a time lapse of this and it was super, super cute. This was a very super fruity scent. It was actually just okay for me as a scent. There was a lot going on. I'm not actually a huge fan of passion fruit or black raspberry vanilla. And I did get quite a bit of that sort of black raspberry vanilla Bath & Body Works type kind of scent from this one. And just when all those different fruity notes kind of mixed together, for me, it just wasn't for me. There was almost a slightly perfumed, fruity aspect to it, which I didn't personally love. It was very strong though, and the strength and throw was about an 8 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished the scent shot in Empire Alchemy's Arctic Mermaid. This is Twisted Mermaid, Rainbow Sherbet, Fruity Loops, and Vanilla Ice Cream. Now, I'm not normally a fan of Fruit Loop scents. In fact, if I see Fruit Loop in a blend, I'll just stay away from it. I'm like, nope, not gonna like it. But leave it to Anna to create a blend with an oil that I don't normally like and make me love it, because that's what happened here. This was really good. The Rainbow Sherbet actually came out the most to me when it was warm. I got hints of the Twisted Mermaid, which I'm pretty sure has twisted peppermint in it, and the Fruity Loops was there, but it was more in the background, and so it wasn't very dominant. And I wouldn't say that I love the scent, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know that I'd purchase a big bag of it, but I would probably get another scent shot in it for sure. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this scent shot in Hayden Rose Satsuma Shorts and Sweater. This is Satsuma and a laundry blend. To me, the Satsuma was actually more dominant when it was melting, which was actually good for me because I'm not the hugest fan of laundry. It was very clean, very fresh, and very, very strong. The strength and throw was like a 9, maybe even 9.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and half in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. So I definitely could have not done what I did. I took the whole scent shot and split it. I could have just put a half of the scent shot and it would have definitely been adequate to fill my whole master bedroom. My partner really loved this one. I did not love it as much just because that's not my scent preference. But I could see where this one would be really popular. The next melt I finished is this Goose Creek melt in Lavender Vanilla, and I really, really like this one a lot. It was definitely a really nice herbal, slightly pretty floral type of lavender mixed with the vanilla. It was a little bit more herbal than the Bath & Body Works Lavender Vanilla, and I really enjoyed it. I love a good herbal, authentic lavender, so this one was wonderful. The strength and throw was about a 7 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer, and I would definitely get this one again. I finished this Easy Melt cup in Yankee Candles Williamsburg Pineapple, and this is an Easy Melt cup that is an online exclusive. Like, you can't really get it in stores. You can only get it at, I think, their flagship store or online. This one is a very juicy, fresh cut pineapple. Unfortunately, this was very, very light. The strength and throw was only about a 3.5, maybe a 4 if I'm being generous, for the first rotation in my centerpiece, and then it was about a 2 for the second rotation in my centerpiece. I could really barely smell it, so it's not one that I would get again, even though the scent itself is nice. I finished the scent shot in Destination Wax's Juicy Fruit. This is super fruity, spiked with spicy essential oils of orange, grapefruit, and cinnamon, a good air freshener. And I absolutely love this this one. I think I actually melted a scent shot of this one last month as well. It's one that is just crazy. I bought like in my very first order from her, and I just never melted it. It just didn't really fall into any of my themes, and it just kind of sat in my stash. And then finally I pulled it out. You know what? I need to try this. And I absolutely fell in love with it. It is spot on to the Juicy Fruit Gum. It definitely is like an odor eliminator. I've even had this scent from smaller like candle companies, and they call it odor eliminator. It is just so juicy and amazing, and it is so strong. The strength and throw is like a 9.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-volt hot plate warmer. I really couldn't believe how strong it was. It filled my master bedroom and then basically the whole back half of my house, and even started filtering into my living room, and it's just amazing. So definitely will repurchase this one. Love it. I finished this Clam and Goose Creek's watermelon patch. I really love this scent as well. It's a very earthy green watermelon scent. You almost can also smell like the dirt that the watermelon is growing from. So it definitely smells like a watermelon patch. I love this type of watermelon scent where they balance that sweet watermelon note with a green or dirt kind of smell. It just smells very authentic, like you can smell the vines and the dirt patch and the watermelon. It's amazing. I love it. The strength of that was about an 8 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and this is another one that I would definitely repurchase. I finished this Clam and Barrett Wax Crafts Lavender and Garden Herbs. This one is, of course, amazing, and I love it because I love Barrett's lavender. He has just an amazing lavender. I've talked about it so many times. This one just added a little bit of a slight green earthy note, but it was still mostly the lavender to me. I didn't really get much of that garden herbs. I think I would have liked to have more of the garden herbs, but it was still nice and I enjoyed it. The strength in though was about an 8 for 1 cube in my Bath & Body Works 25-watt bulb warmer. I finished this scent shot in Empire Alchemy's Daisy Dukes Bikinis on Top. This is Copper Coconut, Cotton Candy, Hawaiian Tropic, and Juicy Pineapples. And Copper Coconut is a Bath & Body Works dupe. I definitely got this very creamy, beachy suntan lotion kind of scent with a slight fruitiness. I'm actually not a fan of the Copper Coconut Bath & Body Works scent. Not the candle, not the dupe of it in oil. I'm just not a huge fan of that one for some reason. There's something about it I just don't love. But actually this blend really worked for me. Again, leave it to Anna from Empire Alchemy to make a note that I'm not really a fan of work somehow. I think the balance of that sweetness and the Copper Coconut, it just took away that particular pungency of Copper Coconut that I don't like and made it very enjoyable. The strength in though is about a 7.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. So the full scent shot in 2 different warmers, 7.5 strength and throw. I finished this mini melter bag in Rosegirls Mango Sorbet. I absolutely love this scent. This scent mixed with the Monster Cookie Fluff Puffs was in my top 18 scents of 2018. It's a very tart, juicy, almost kind of chewy mango scent. Kind of reminds me of like a chewy mango candy. It's not syrupy or overly sweet, and I love it. It is definitely great by itself, but also blended. I especially love it blended with the Monster Cookie Fluff Puffs. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my Scentsy Accord Warmer. And I would absolutely get this one again. In fact, I've already repurchased it. I finished this Clam of Better Homes and Gardens Sweet Watermelon Buttercream. This is one that I have had before, and I've repurchased like a couple of clams of it. I actually really like this scent. You definitely get a lot of that creamy, sweet frosting, that buttercream, but the watermelon juice is sort of infused in there as well, so it's really nice. Definitely a bakery, creamy, sweet watermelon scent that's quite different than a lot of our other watermelon type scents. You don't smell this and think watermelon candy. You definitely think icing, buttercream, frosting, cupcake. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for 1 cube in my 25-watt bulb warmer. The bad part about this one is it did stain my warmer, but some stains are easier to remove than others, and this one actually came off really easy. I just put a little alcohol in my dish and it came out very nicely. So some stains are so like I have to really scrub and use a lot of elbow grease. This one I didn't have to do that, so that's okay with me. I'll deal with it because I like the scent. And I do have one more claim of this, I think, so I wouldn't buy any more right now, but I probably would in the future. I finished this Easy Melt Cup and Yankee Candles Honey Lavender Gelato. I really like this scent. It's a very creamy, sweet lavender scent. The scent itself was very light though. The strength and throw was only about a 3 for the first rotation in my centerpiece, and maybe about a 1.5, barely detectable, for my second rotation. It was okay for guests. I actually did melt this on purpose when I had my mother coming over because she doesn't really like a lot of scent, so I knew this would just be a very light ambiance, and so it worked for that purpose, but it's definitely not one that's gonna like fill your space. So I don't know that I would necessarily repurchase this one. I finished this chunk muffin in Rosegirls Love Yourself. This is strawberry shortcake, mango, and Rice Krispie treats. This is another one that was sent to me by my friend Susan, which again, just super, super kind of her. This was a nice scent. I love Rosegirls mango, but I got a lot more of the strawberry and the Rice Krispie treats in this one, and just a little bit of the mango came through. So it was actually a lot of sweet, not enough tart. I think I would have liked it more had it had more mango. The strength and throw was about a 4.5, 5 for a small chunk in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this bag in the Bento Custom in watermelon, salty sea air, and lemon mint leaf. This one is a blend that I really, really enjoyed. The contrast of that sweet, juicy watermelon with that salty sea air and the mint, it was just perfection for me. It's definitely a blend that I would probably try to order in a custom from another vendor sometime in the future. Very enjoyable, actually. The strength and throw was about a 5 for 1 roll in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this shape in Handmade in Florida's lavender cake. This is fluffy vanilla cake drizzled with lavender icing, and I did actually melt a lot of lavender this month because I was really melting a lot of stuff in the evenings when I just wanted to relax and put on the really nice lavender scent. So I did go through a lot of my lavender. This one is a very sweet vanilla lavender. That cake note definitely comes through. You almost get more of the cake and the icing in the lavender. The lavender is definitely feels like it's just a drizzle, as it said. Really, really nice though. Very enjoyable. I really like her lavender blends. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 for a small piece in my 25-watt bulb warmer. I finished this mini melter bag in Rosegirls Monster Cookie Fluff Puffs. I already talked about this one a little bit. Love it, love it, love it. I think this is one of my absolute favorite kind of bakery vanilla blends right now. I think it just goes well with pretty much everything. I've been putting it with everything. Definitely love it with the mango sorbet, as I mentioned. The strength and throw is about a 7 in my Scentsy Accord warmer, and have already repurchased this one as well. I finished this shape in Rosegirls Raspberry Pineapple Peeps Cake. The pineapple definitely dominated the other notes, but that tart raspberry also came through. The actual Peeps cake itself was not very present. It didn't really make itself known. I probably would have actually liked a bit more bakery in this to kind of balance out the tartness of both the pineapple and the raspberry. It was nice, but just okay for me personally. The strength and throw was about a 4 for part of the shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this bag of Bento's fresh watermelon candy. This is watermelon, clean cotton, and cotton candy. And the clean cotton in this really kind of enhanced that watermelon. It was still very sweet and juicy, but it had a hint of freshness, and I actually liked it. The strength and throw was about a 4.5 for 1 roll in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this waffle shape in Zeep's watermelon crawl. This is juicy watermelon and vanilla buttercream. Sort of similar to the Better Homes and Gardens sweet watermelon buttercream scent, like that same concept. I mostly got a lot of that watermelon juice and then just hints of the sweet vanilla icing, but it's a nice scent. The strength and throw was about a 5.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this Purple Fox Waxes Paradise Found. The notes are diced ripe mangoes, sweet blackberries, and pomegranates. And this one is a really nice sweet and tart, juicy, fruity scent. Y'all know by now I love that sweet and tart. I love when the fruits aren't just overly sweet and very syrupy. I definitely like that contrast between the tart and then the sweet, and this had it perfection. Really good. The strength and throw was about a 6 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I would definitely consider getting this one again next year. I finished this Handmade in Florida's Pineapple Whip. This is a delectable blend of sweet pineapples and vanilla buttercream, and it definitely smells like you would think. It smells like a juicy, fresh pineapple with the perfect amount of vanilla creaminess. So it did sort of put you in the mind of having like a Dole Whip at Disney World. I enjoyed it. The strength and throw was about a 5.5, 6 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished these 2 Testers and Destination Waxes Watermelon Bubble Gum. I actually preferred the white test melt. It was a nicer scent. It was stronger overall. I didn't really prefer the pink one, and it was weaker. I finished this chunk muffin in Rosegirls Watermelon Spearmint Peeps Cake. I melted this one last year and really enjoyed it. It's a really, really nice blend. The spearmint is the top note, followed by the juicy watermelon, and then you get the bakery. And just the combination of the spearmint and the watermelon is something that I don't see from a lot of other vendors, and I just think it's really unique, a really great blend, and I love it. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 in my Scentsy Accord warmer, and I would definitely get this one again. I finished this bag in Empire Alchemy's Wild Blackberry Lemonade. This is Wildberry Mousse, Blackberry Lemonade, and Rainforest Sugarcane. So Rainforest Sugarcane is actually a Bath & Body Works dupe. This one is actually really nice. I really enjoyed it as well. It is creamy, fruity, tart, and sweet. I'm not normally a huge fan of wild berry mousse either, but the mixture of all of these and the way that she has them balanced, it was just really nice. Unfortunately, it wasn't very strong for me. The strength and throw was about a 4.5, maybe a 5 for 2 different pieces in my 20 watt and 24 watt hot plate warmer. So while it was a good scent, it was a little bit on the lighter side. I finished this Clam and Super Tarts Winchester ink. This is black raspberry pie and salted watermelon taffy. And I actually really love this one on cold sniff. Even when I smell the clam now, I'm like, ooh, I really like that. But when it was actually melting, I just didn't love it for some reason. Like, I don't know what it was exactly, but it didn't come together warm for me like I thought it would. It also wasn't super strong, which is odd for a Super Tart scent. The strength and throw was about a 5.5 for 1 cube in my 20 watt hot plate warmer and about a 4.5 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. So I don't think I would purchase this one again. I finished this Clam and Barrett Wax Crafts Watermelon Festival. I've melted this one before and I love it. It is such a super authentic watermelon patch type of scent. You definitely get this really nice green grass note, and then you mix with that sweet juicy watermelon. The grass and the watermelon are very well balanced against each other, and I absolutely love it. It definitely makes me think of a watermelon patch, and I just think it's fabulous. And I love it, like I've said, when there's a green note to the watermelon, because it makes you feel like it's a much more authentic, realistic watermelon versus being a watermelon candy. So definitely we'll be getting this one again. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for 1 cube in my 25 watt bulb warmer, and I will definitely repurchase this one. I finished this little cup in Sassy Girl Aroma's Melon Madness. I think this was a free sample. This is honeydew, kiwi, cantaloupe, and watermelon. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of honeydew, as I've mentioned, but this one was actually really nice. It definitely smelled like a mixed melon bowl of fruit, so like you could definitely kind of pull out each of the individual notes. It came together as this really nice, juicy, fruity melon bowl, and I actually liked it. The strength and throw was about a 5.5 for the little cup in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. And then, as I mentioned, we did some random fall scents. We took like a weekend and did fall, like Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday, and it was actually really wonderful. I finished the Bathing Gardens Who Stole the Tarts. This is butter soaked apples, cinnamon bonbons, and sugar sprinkled whipped cream. And this one is amazing. It definitely reminds me of like apple fritter oil with extra cinnamon and then the creamy vanilla. It is so good. I love apple bakery scents anyway, and I just really think this one's fantastic. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for a couple of small pieces in my Scentsy Accord warmer, and I will definitely repurchase this one. I finished this pumpkin shape in the Bathing Gardens Tombstone Dust. This is green apple, cinnamon cupcakes, brown sugar, and caramel marshmallow. This one was just okay for me. Like, I would think with all of these notes that I would absolutely love this one, but it was just okay. It was very warming cinnamon type of apple note, but it was also quite sweet. But then when it was melting, that green apple note very distinctly came through. I think I almost might have preferred it more with like a red apple or something like that, but maybe that would have even made it even more sweet. The strength and throw was about a 6 in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I finished this tester in Destination Waxes Pralines and Popcorn. This is definitely not the same as my beloved Pralines and Popcorn that she can't get anymore, and I'm just still gutted by that fact. Although I do have quite a bit that I stocked up on when I found out that it was going to be going out of stock. This one doesn't have that same butteriness that the other one does. It's nice, but when I'm comparing it side by side, the other one has a butteriness to like the caramel that makes it feel like it's a very homemade kind of caramel praline, and this one doesn't really have that. So that's sort of missing that buttery aspect, which is kind of probably one of my favorite things about the scent. The strength and throw of this was about a 6 in my 20 and 24 hot plate warmer. So I put 1 mini cake in one warmer and 1 mini cake in another warmer. Unfortunately, this one disappeared rather quickly. The original Pralines and Popcorn is one that I could put in and it would go for like 12 plus hours. It just had this amazing longevity. This one only lasted about 6 to 7 hours. So it's still decent, but just again, comparing it to the other one, not the same. I wouldn't be mad if this one was one that passed, although I'm pretty sure she's already told me this one isn't going to pass. But I'm still, I guess, holding out hope that the other Pralines and Popcorn comes back at some point. Hope she can at least find a dupe because it's amazing. I finished this shape in the Bathing Gardens Climbing Around. This is popcorn, 7-layer cake, blue cotton candy, and toffee dipped apples, and this was the top scent of 2017. Absolutely love it. Carnival scent perfection. You get all of the amazingness, the popcorn and the sweetness and the apple, and I love this type of scent. The strength and throw was about a 9, probably even a 9.5 for the little shape in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. It's a favorite, definitely a repurchase over and over again for me. Love it. If you love your carnival scents, highly recommend it. I also finished this bag of Rosegirls mini melters in pie crust. She has a really nice pie crust oil. It's perfection. It's not super strong on its own, of course, which is understandable, but it is a great blender. But I've had a couple other pie crusts from other people, and this one's actually strongest one that I've had so far, so that's definitely good. Probably on its own I would give it about a 4 in my Scentsy Accord warmer, but it's definitely a repurchase for me because it blends with so many things and I just love it. I melted this Empire Alchemy kitchen sink cookies. This is caramel and chocolate, vanilla cookies, and pretzels and salt, and this one is so yummy. That caramel and the pretzel is just a winning combination. I love that salty and sweet contrast. It's just amazing. It wasn't as strong as I would have liked it. I would have loved it to like fill my entire space. The strength and throw was about a 5.5, so a little over medium, and for the shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. We would definitely get it again and hope that maybe it was a little bit stronger. I finished the sample in Destination Wax's Cafe Brulee. This is buttery caramel brulee with hints of coffee, hazelnut, and marshmallow, and I really, really like this one. Now this scent has that buttery aspect that I absolutely loved about Pralines and Popcorn, the original. It is just delicious. You definitely get this really buttery, almost like homemade kind of caramel sauce with the coffee, but it wasn't too sweet. It was well balanced and I really enjoyed it. The strength and throw was about a 7 for the shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. And that kind of concluded the little fall weekend that we had, but I had to say I really enjoyed it. I finished this clam in Super Tarts Sand Dollar Cookies. This is Cotton Candy, Pink Sands, and Sugar Cookie, and Pink Sands is a Yankee Candle dupe. It's sort of a melon type of scent. The Pink Sands was really toned down by the Cotton Candy and the cookie, and it was actually really enjoyable to kind of take that scent and make it like a bakery spinoff. It wasn't my absolute favorite. I liked it more on cold sniff than I did actually melting, but it was still okay. The shrink and throw was about a 6.5, 7 for 1 cube in my bowl warmer. I finished this clam in Goose Creek's Blueberry Lemonade, and this is actually one of the ones from a long time ago when they had like the softer wax melts. This is a really nice, juicy, summery drink scent. The sweetness of the blueberry is balanced by the sharpness of the citrusy lime, and it's sweet and tart and juicy, and I absolutely love it. It is fantastic scent. I'm not sure that this one's actually out now. I'll have to check, but I would definitely repurchase it. The strength and throw is about an 8.5 for 2 cubes in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this bag in Empire Alchemy's Pinkalicious Cake. This is fresh strawberry, watermelon, a hint of pink lemonade, and birthday cake sprinkles. And this sort of reminds me, it's in the same family as Zeep's watermelon buttercream and the Better Homes and Gardens sweet watermelon buttercream, except this one has a lot more of the watermelon juicy sweetness and less of the actual cake. I did get hints of the strawberry, which added a nice additional sort of creamy sweetness to it, and I really, really liked it a lot. I would definitely repurchase this one as well. The strength and throw was about a 6 for a small chunk in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this chunk bag in Rosegirls Hippie Juice. The scent notes are coconut rum, pink lemonade, strawberry, and watermelon. And I really, really enjoyed this scent as well. You got tons of that strawberry and the watermelon, and then it was balanced by the tart lemonade. So again, the sweetness and the tartness, I loved it. Perfect for the hot summer months. You definitely felt like it was a summery, juicy drink that you were sipping on, and I just really enjoyed it a lot. The strength and throw was about a 7.5 for a small chunk in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I would definitely get this one again. And lastly, but certainly not least, if you've hung in there this long, because I went through a ton of melts this month, I finished this clam in the Bathing Garden Salted Lavender. This one is lavender with sea salt and hints of softwoods, musk, and vanilla, and I absolutely love, love, love this one. There is so much salty goodness in this one mixed with the lavender. It is like the perfect summer lavender. And while it is very salty and beachy, you still get enough of that lavender that still made it a really nice bedtime scent. I would put this in and it would just be so wonderful because it felt like I was at the beach melting a lavender scent. So I absolutely love it. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 for 1 cube in my bowl warmer, and I would definitely get this one again. Okie dokie, that is it. That is all of the wax melts that I finished in June. If you're only here for the wax melts, thank you so much for watching. I will rearrange and move right on into the candles. Overall, I'm really happy with the candles that I finished in June. Still really sticking to the watermelon, mango, and pineapple theme that I had in wax. And I feel like most of these were just very, very enjoyable. The first candle I finished in June is this Homeworx Lemonade. And this is the really pretty label with the big slices of lemon. It kind of looks like you're looking into a pitcher of lemonade. The notes are California lemon, mandarin neroli, pink grapefruit, and raw sugar. And this one is a very authentic tart and sweet lemonade. You definitely get the sweetness from the sugar that you've stirred into the lemonade. You definitely get that tart, mouth puckering, almost sour note from like freshly squeezed lemons. It is quite similar to Goose Creek's lemonade scent, which is also a really good one. And it's just a really nice lemonade scent. The strength and throw was about a 7, so I was really pleased with that. And the burn was actually pretty good. It was a faster burner. It did have larger flames, so there was some soot. Definitely keep your eye on this one. I did trim my wicks on this one, and overall it was just a very solidly burning candle. It was one of the better 4 wicks that I've tried, so I'm really happy with this one. You can see how clean it is. You can see the wick clips at the bottom. Really no issues, no puny wicks. Not much residue even on the side. So overall I'm really happy. Like, this definitely starts to sort of restore my faith a little bit in the 4 wicks from Homeworx. So this came in a set with the sweet tea, so I would definitely, if that candle burns as well and I enjoy it, I might even consider repurchasing this set. It was nice. The next candle I finished, this is Bath & Body Works Pineapple Crumb Cake. This came out in the Sweet Shop collection that was released for spring, and I really like the labels on this. I think they're very cute. The notes are golden pineapple, rich pound cake, and sweet brown butter. This scent is a returning scent from last year. It definitely smells like a pineapple upside down cake, pineapple crumb cake. You get that pineapple with that brown sugar bakery kind of streusel topping. It's really nice. The balance between the pineapple and the streusel topping cake notes are very well balanced. I did not love this one as much last year when I burned it as I did this year. Maybe I was just more in the mood for it this year, so I enjoyed it more, or maybe they increased the bakery note. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, 7. The burn though was what was problematic. So it was okay for the first half, no problems at all actually, and then the second half you can see the residue there. I started getting puny wicks, and it was just really slow to want to pull out. I did cotton ball this once in the middle, and then it was okay for the rest of the candle, but it was still slower to pull out in general. It didn't affect the strength and throw though, or the scent, so that was good. Sometimes these slower burners can make it so that the candle itself is weak, but I still had really good luck with 6.5, 7 strength and throw. So even though the burn was one that I had to kind of babysit, I didn't mind it as much because it didn't affect the strength and throw of the candle. Although I don't know that I would actually repurchase this one. I think that we might see it again next year anyway. The next candle I finished is this Bath & Body Works Watermelon Lemonade. Again, I absolutely love the labels on these. I think they did such a good job. I kind of wish I had one more of these for just my collection, but I don't collect watermelon lemonade candles, so I don't need to start adding more and more candles that I don't need. They bring this one back every year, but I just think this label is particularly cute. The notes are cool watermelon ice, sparkling water, and Meyer lemon. And of course, this is a classic summer Bath & Body Works scent, sweet and juicy watermelon with the tart lemonade. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, and the burn was actually great. You can see there how nice it looks. There were no issues. I kept the wicks trimmed on this one. I only burned it for 3 to 4 hours at a time, and I had fabulous luck. So no complaints. I know a lot of people are tired of watermelon lemonade, but I really still like it. It's not one that I want to burn 50 of, but I like to burn at least 1 a season. The next candle I finished is this Bath & Body Works Coastal Watermelon. I think that the packaging of this is really cool looking. The notes are juicy watermelon, a pinch of pink sea salt, and ocean waves. And I think a lot of people just sort of chalk this up to being like watermelon lemonade. It was pretty much a dupe of that. It was so similar, and while I agree that it is similar, they definitely have the same juicy watermelon notes. Especially when this was burning, the differences really became clear to me. This one is much less sweet than watermelon lemonade, and also of course you kind of remove the lemon from this and you add a salty, slightly beachy vibe. It was actually really nice, and what it actually reminded me of was my grandfather. He always put salt on his watermelon when we had watermelon. He would never just eat it. He always put salt on it, which I never did, but a lot of people do that. So that's what this actually reminded me of, is a salted watermelon, because you definitely got the juicy sweet watermelon, but you got a lot of that salt. So it kind of either smelled like you had just salted your watermelon like my grandfather did, or you were eating watermelon at the beach. I could definitely see either way, and I really loved it. I think the salt balanced that sweetness perfectly, and I think it's fantastic. So if it's one that you just didn't even think to consider because you thought it was just a dupe of watermelon lemonade, and you like watermelon scents, I definitely say that you should go in your store and get one if they still have them, because it's actually pretty fantastic. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, 7, so it was just a normal, standard what you would expect from a Bath & Body Works candle. The burn was actually really good. It was sooty though. This was a faster burner, so definitely keep your wicks trim. Definitely don't let it burn for any more than 3 hours at a time. You definitely have to keep your eye on it. Not that you should ever leave a candle unattended, but this one was one of those faster burners that we have from Bath & Body Works. So you can see the soot there. At the end, I kind of let it go a little bit too long, and that was definitely, part of that was definitely my fault. But it's absolutely a repurchase for me. In fact, I already have repurchased it, and I really hope that we see this back again. The next candle I finished, this is Homeworx Sweet Spring Melon. I absolutely adore the hobnail jars here. I think they're so cute. This is a re-release scent from last year. The notes are ripe honeydew melon, watermelon, freesia, cucumber, wild strawberry, and water lily, and it's a very sweet, juicy melon scent. When it's burning, it actually reminds me of a tropical fruity kind of melon bubblegum scent, and for some reason that's the same thing I felt last year, and when I burned it this year I thought the same thing. It is really nice, really juicy, really sweet. Sweet to the point where it sort of makes you think that it's like a gum or a candy, sort of has a little bit of an artificialness, but it's okay. I actually like it. The strength and throw was about an 8. The burn was not the best, unfortunately. The first half, it was actually fine. You can actually see how clean it is on the side there. It's actually quite clean, no residue, but then it started getting puny wicks and I had to cotton ball it halfway down, and then after I cotton balled it the first time, it was okay. It still was just wanting to struggle a lot, and so then I had to cotton ball it again. I got another burn out of it, and then I tried to cotton ball it one more time to try to get this down a little bit more so you can actually kind of see where I cotton balled it, and it just wasn't worth it at that point for me. The strength and throw did reduce quite drastically, so it started off really strong, about an 8 for the first half, and then it dropped down to maybe about a 4.5, and then the scent itself changed as well. It wasn't that really sweet, juicy, tropical, fruity scent. It definitely started smelling like the burnt paraffin wax, so I wasn't a fan of that. I really like this scent. I really liked it in the 3 wick. I love this jar, but I don't think I'd recommend it in the 4 wick unless you don't mind dealing with those burn issues. The next candle I finished is Bath & Body Works Sweet Summer Days Watermelon Ice. The notes are pink watermelon, crushed ice, watery cucumber, and sugar crystals. And this one's one that I really enjoyed last year. Several people weren't a huge fan, but that's okay. We can't all like the same things. This one is definitely heavy on that cucumber. You get this watery crispness that comes from the cucumber. It smells just like a cucumber oil that I have from one of my favorite vendors. And then you get some of that sweet watermelon mixed in. It is very refreshing and cooling. Almost like you're sitting in a spa with like cucumbers on your eyes and you're like sipping some kind of like watermelon juice. Or it also reminds me of like a watermelon cucumber infused water, or some kind of drink where you've taken slices of cucumber and then chunks of watermelon and you've mixed it in with like a really nice cold ice water, and then you're sipping on that infused water. So I really enjoy the scent. The strength and throw is about a 7.5, 8, so it is quite strong. The burn is good, but it is a fast, dirty sooter. Definitely keep your wicks trimmed, keep your eye on it. Don't let it burn for more than 3 hours at a time, because it is one of those faster burners that we get from Bath & Body Works. You can see all the soot there, especially toward the bottom and even on the sides. I probably didn't trim my wicks enough on this one. I probably could have trimmed them to a little bit lower. I hesitate sometimes to over trim because I don't want to cause puny wicks, but I probably could have trimmed them more on this one to help myself out. Even though it was sooty and I could only burn it for 3 hours at a time, I still did enjoy the scent, and I'm glad I have a couple of backups of this one. I hope that we see it again, but I don't know that it was super popular, so it's one that we might not see again in the future. The next candle I finished is Bath & Body Works Ice Cream Shop, and I love the label on this one. It has like a textured here, so like the little sprinkles are actually textured. Super cute. The notes are decadent almond, gooey toffee, and creamy vanilla bean. And this is a baffling scent for me. I mentioned it in my haul video, my most recent semi-annual haul video. When it was burning, it smelled like buttered popcorn to me. Very authentic buttered popcorn with praline caramel candy mixed into the popcorn. Not caramel popcorn. I'm very specifically saying it was a buttery popcorn with like the pralines mixed in. It was not Summer Boardwalk to me. Some people said it was. It doesn't have apple in it. And I think I've mentioned before, just because a scent has popcorn doesn't mean it's a dupe of Summer Boardwalk. Like, there's lots of ways that you can use popcorn. It also isn't the same as the toffee and maple popcorn. I know I'm messing up that name, but I think you know which ones y'all should hopefully know which one I'm referring to. Which was very similar to Summer Boardwalk, but it did not have an apple. To me, this scent is not as sweet as that one. That one had a lot of that caramel and maple and a lot of extra sweetness, whereas this one definitely definitely has more of that buttery popcorn aspect. So I don't know, I actually really like it though, despite the name, despite the fact that it doesn't really smell like an ice cream shop to me. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I picked up a couple more. The strength and throw was about an 8, 8.5, so it was quite strong. It filled my living room open concept area very nicely. The burn was pretty good, but it also was a faster burner, so it was somewhat sooty. You can kind of see the wax is a little bit discolored. There's some black soot on the side of the jar there. Not horrible, but definitely kept my wicks trimmed. Only kept it to about a 3 to 4 hour burning rotation, and that did help with the sootiness. Let me know in the comments below what you got from this candle. I've heard from a lot of other people they also got buttered popcorn, so it makes me feel a little better that I'm just not completely nutso. But let me know what you got. I would be really interested to see what your nose gleaned from this scent. The next one I finished is this Bath & Body Works Saltwater Taffy, which also was released for semi-annual sale. This is chewy vanilla cream, fresh berries, and juicy cherry. I like this scent on cold sniff, but when it was burning, it was just okay for me. It was a sweet, slightly fruity, think cherry, strawberry, watermelon taffy scent. It definitely smelled like taffy. There was definitely something almost like chewy about it that kind of came through, and it was pleasant, but I wasn't in love with it. I've had better saltwater taffy scents in vendor wax, so I think I'm probably a little bit biased. It was also quite light for me for a Bath & Body Works candle. The strength and throw was about a 4. I could smell it, but it definitely wasn't something that was gonna like carry an open concept. The burn itself was fine, but also another hot, fast burner. I definitely kept the wicks trimmed on this one and kept it to a 3 hour burn. You can see how dirty the wax looks. Not horrible, I mean, compared to some candles that I've had in my past, but it is pretty dirty. This was a light pink wax. And even though I kept the wicks trimmed and I kept the burn time low, it still wanted to soot. So you can see on the sides here that we've got some of the sooting, and you can see this was the last burn, how tall the wicks kind of got. I do have one more of these because I picked up the entire collection in duplicate just in case I loved it and I couldn't get it again. I'll probably just keep that one for collection purposes, but it's not one that I feel like, oh man, I wish I had lots of. It was just a kind of a one and done scent for me personally. The next candle I finished, this is Homeworx Pineapple Colada. This was a 3 wick from last year. The notes are fresh pineapple, coconut milk, peach, Madagascar vanilla, and tangerine juice. And this was a creamy, almost milky pina colada scent, but no booze. There was no rum or alcohol in this scent. It almost sort of smelled like a pineapple coconut like smoothie. It was very, very creamy. And I love that the pineapple was not super astringent in this. It wasn't like, bam, this is a super strong pineapple scent. You definitely got the pineapple, but I almost picked up more of that creamy coconut milk, and the vanilla and even a little bit of the peach really balanced out that pineapple beautifully. I actually really enjoyed it. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, so pretty decent strength and throw. And the burn was great. It was somewhat sooty. You can see some of the discoloration of the wax down there. I did keep the wicks trimmed on this one. This is one of our, I kind of say beloved 3 wicks at this point because they had these amazing wicks. You can see how massive those wick clips are there at the bottom, and it just really had no issues other than being sooty. It was fine. Kept the wicks trimmed and it burned down to the bottom, no issue whatsoever. So I actually enjoyed this one more than I thought I would originally. The next one I finished is another Homeworx candle in pink pomelo, and the notes are pink pomelo, sugar crystals, blonde woods, and watermelon. And this one to me was mostly watermelon sweetness, but I did get some of the grapefruit when it was burning, and the grapefruit added like this nice tangy tart, almost, you know, slightly bitterness to it, but it was then balanced out by the sweet juiciness of the watermelon. Definitely kind of got some like gummy candy vibes, which I know other people have said. I could definitely see that. Mostly sweet and juicy, but it was absolutely delicious, and it was nice and strong. The strength and throw was about a 7.5, 8, and the burn, dun, 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 was fantastic. Similarly to the lemonade candle, this is definitely one of the best 4 wicks that I've tried. I was absolutely happy and thrilled with the burn on this one. I did keep the wicks trimmed. I just slightly trimmed the top of like the mushroom tops that came off. The burn was even. It was no tunneling. It burned itself out, as you can see. It is just great. Didn't have to cotton ball it, and really happy with it overall. If all the 4 wicks could perform like this, I would definitely be a super happy camper. Definitely happy that this came in a duo because I do have one more of these, and I like this in enough that it might be one that I would even consider picking up another 2-pack of. of because it was really, really delicious. I don't think it's gonna smell like bitter grapefruit, but a lot of watermelon, a little bit of grapefruit, and it was really fantastic. The next candle I finished is this Kringle Over the Rainbow 3-wick candle. Let's take a moment to observe and look at this absolutely gorgeous label. I know I say this every time I talk about Kringle candles, but I absolutely adore these labels. The matte finish, just absolutely beautiful. You can see like the little bit of metallic shimmer on that rainbow. Oh, I just love it. Super excited that Kringle has brought out 3 wicks. I just absolutely love this concept, and of course I wanted to try it immediately. The notes of this scent are honeydew, sea salt, ozone, cantaloupe, watermelon, and marine. These do not have the scent notes on the bottom. I kind of wish they did. I'm not gonna lie. I would, if I were putting suggestions out there, I would say, can't we add scent notes to these? That would be fantastic. These are 14.5 ounce candles, the same size as a Bath & Body Works candle. So talking about the scent, I absolutely love it. It is sweet melon goodness. It does sort of remind me of Sweet Spring Melon from Homeworx. They're sort of in the same family for sure, except this one definitely has that slight salty vibe, and it has a freshness that Sweet Spring Melon doesn't have. So I love the fact that you've got all of these amazing melon fruits balanced out by the ozone and the sea salt. And so it does, similarly to coastal watermelon, it does kind of make me think of eating melons on the beach. So you've got watermelon and cantaloupe, and luckily the honeydew isn't like the super dominant note in this. The other melons definitely come through, and I just absolutely love it. I love a salty melon scent, and this one is perfection. Highly, highly recommend. Definitely will probably see this one in my top candles of 2019 for sure. The strength and throw was also fantastic. It was a 7.5, 8, so love that. Definitely highly impressed with that already for these 3 wicks, and it has the black lids here. So as far as the burn was good. The first half of the candle was absolutely fine. I kept it to about a 3 to 4 hour burning window, and I did keep my wicks trimmed to stop any kind of sooting or try to avoid sooting. Of course, it's a candle, it's gonna soot a little bit. About this range of the candle, you can actually kind of see the line here, the wax got really, really discolored. It kind of started here, and then by this point the wax that was pulling out was completely gray, like gray black. So the soot was definitely getting into the actual candle itself. So I did cotton ball that away because I just didn't want to burn it. It was not pretty looking, so I did cotton ball that sort of dirty wax away, and then I continued to burn it. You can actually see that the wax that is left is actually pretty white, but you can see here, this is where I kind of had the issue. Overall, I am really, really pleased with this format. I would absolutely repurchase more of the 3 wicks. I did pick up a few more. I'm actually burning another one right now, so I'll definitely keep you informed. There'll be another one in my empties for July. If you are a 3-wick candle lover like me, if you're a Bath & Body Works fan like me, I highly recommend checking out these Kringle 3 wicks. There's not a huge array of scents in this particular form on his site right now. I think he's got maybe about 8 or 9, but I think if they are popular enough and if people like them, it sounds like he definitely has plans to bring out more scents in the line. I hope we get some fall scents in this. I would love it. I am just all about 3 wicks, and this size candle is perfect for me, the 14.5 ounces. So overall with this for my first burn, I definitely recommend the 3 wicks. Super, super happy with this one. And lastly, I finished this Bath & Body Works Blueberry Pie, which of course has gotten a lot of hype on social media. I love the packaging on this. You can see it's this really navy blue. It looks like you've got little firework cutouts here. When you burn this, it looks like a luminary. It is just so pretty. The notes are juicy blueberries, flaky crust, and sugar crystals. And here is my batch code, 9121AGA2. The scent itself is a blueberry mixed berry note, similar to the blueberry berry note that's in Blueberry Maple Pancakes that came out last year in fall. And then you get lots of the bakery pastry goodness. I definitely feel like I can imagine this smells like a blueberry pie. I can imagine this smells like a blueberry muffin, but I kind of get more of a blueberry cobbler. There's just a little hint of spice in this one. And when I make homemade blueberry cobbler, I put just a little bit of spice in it. And then my cobbler crust is actually like a pie crust consistency mixed with like the brown sugar. So it sort of has like this mixture of like a pastry and cobbler kind of streusel topping, and it's delicious, if I have to say so myself. So it definitely smells like an amazing bakery blueberry scent. I absolutely love it. It's delicious. The strength and throw was about a 7.5. So very nice, sort of what you would expect from Bath & Body Works. The burn itself was also great. It was sooty at the end, not so much at the beginning. I did keep my wicks trimmed, didn't burn it any more than 4 hours at a time. It wasn't a fast burner, but it was sort of medium high. So the flames could get pretty large. So if I had let it burn for like 6 hours, then it would have been a problem. But other than the sooting and the faster burning, this was a really great candle. I never had any issues. You can actually see the wax looks pretty clean at the bottom. The scent maintained itself through the entirety of the candle. I love it. Definitely glad that I grabbed several backups of this one because it to me is just really wonderful. Okie dokie, that is it. That is everything that I melted and used in June 2019. Whew, if you stuck around for this entire video, definitely leave me a watermelon, mango, or pineapple emoji below, kind of sticking to my theme. I always love to hear from you and love to see if you've watched the entire video, and it's really just great to see your faces in the comments. I know a lot of you don't have the time to write full comments, but if you do have the time, I would love to hear what you melted and burnt in June. Did you have any standout favorites? Are you still full on summer scents? Are you starting to transition or want to transition to fall scents? Since this was already a long video, I'm not going to ramble too much here at the end. So if you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see other videos like this, please subscribe. I definitely do a monthly detailed empties video just like this, and I have lots of hauls. I also have some other ideas for content for my channel, which I'm really excited about. If you haven't already, subscribe to me on Instagram. I have been doing some Instagram TV videos for some smaller vendor wax hauls that I don't really have time to put on this channel. So follow me there. I will put my Instagram in the description box below. Thank you as always for all of your support. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you and love interacting with you and all the love that you've shown on my recent videos. I definitely have been really happy that I've been able to get out more content, and so thank y'all so much for all of your support. Y'all are just the best community and I cannot thank you enough. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.